The Bisbee Mining and Historical Museum takes you back in time to the days of a copper mining town's role in the industrialization of America. This museum, combined with a tour inside the Queen Mine, provides a wealth of knowledge and experiences to help visitors better understand the history of Bisbee, the mines, and their impact on the town and our nation. The museum is housed inside the former Phelps Dodge General Office, built in 1895. The building has been listed on the National Register of Historic Places, and it's also part of the Smithsonian Museum Affiliation Program. This is Daryl
and Erin
on Travel with D&E.
The Bisbee Queen Mine was founded back in 1877 by a group of prospectors. They discovered copper and other valuable resources, launching a mining boom in the area. Copper production began with individuals and then expanded by companies, such as the Phelps Dodge Corporation, which operated the Copper Queen Consolidated Mine Company and eventually became the sole operator of the mining district.
Over the years, the mine expanded with a multitude of shafts and tunnels being excavated to reach deeper and richer ore deposits. Open pit mining was also utilized to expand copper production during World War I. As the mine expanded, so did Bisbee. Unfortunately, underground mines closed in the summer of 1975. The town of Bisbee smartly pivoted quickly to establish the Bisbee Mining and Historical Museum, the Queen Mine Tour, and other improvements to create a tourist economy.
The museum opened in the 1970s in the Phelps Dodge General Office, which was built in 1895 and still stands today. The museum building was renovated extensively in the 1970s to prepare the building to house a museum. The Bisbee Mining and Historical Museum has welcomed more than 500,000 visitors throughout the years.
Real copper production began around 1880 with individual owners, but was quickly replaced with companies that had capital to expand the mining operations. The Phelps Dodge Corporation, through a subsidiary, the Copper Queen Consolidated Mining Company, became the dominant and eventually the sole operator of the mining district. Bisbee thrived and grew into one of the largest cities in the Arizona Territory by the early 1900s. Bisbee became one of the towns between St. Louis and San Francisco that had a blend of ethnicities and religions, as its immigrant citizens were in search of the American dream that so many found and lived.
A very sad and troubling event occurred in 1917, which sent ripples throughout the country. Phelps Dodge, a major mining company in the area, illegally kidnapped and deported about 1,300 striking mine workers, their supporters, and citizen bystanders by 2,000 members of a deputized posse. The miners attempted to organize for better working conditions and wages, but Phelps didn't want them to unionize. They were rounded up and held at the Warren ballpark before being loaded on cattle cars and deported on a 16-hour journey covering 200 miles without food and water. They were told not to come back.
Open pit mining, a more efficient method, was successfully introduced in Bisbee to meet the growing copper demand in World War I. Covering almost a century, Bisbee's mines were responsible for producing over 8 billion pounds of copper, 102 million ounces of silver, and 2.8 million ounces of gold, along with millions of pounds of zinc, lead, and manganese. By 1974, ore reserves were depleted. Phelps Dodge shut down all pit mining operations in mid-74 and closed underground mining in December 74.
With the mine closures in 1974, the mayor of Bisbee, Chuck Eads, smartly thought about how to pivot the town from a mining-based town or industry to one that supports tourism and arts. He wanted to keep the history of mining alive in Bisbee. Hoping to attract tourists, the City of Bisbee, the Economic Development Administration, Phelps Dodge, and volunteers pitched in either money or time to get the mine tour project underway.
On February 1st, 1976, the Queen Mine Tour was officially open to visitors. More than 1 million visitors from all 50 states and more than 30 foreign countries have enjoyed the ride into the mountain on the underground mine tour train. Although not related to the museum, we highly recommend you check out the museum, then go on into the mountain on the Queen Mine Tour. It's a great experience and especially fun with children.
The museum is open daily from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Visitors are charged $10 for ages 11 to 60 years old, with seniors, veterans, and active military costs $9. Children up to 11 years old are free but must be accompanied by an adult. The walk through the museum will typically take 60 to 90 minutes. Of course, that depends a lot on how much time you want to take to look at each exhibit and the content that's available for you to see. There is some equipment out front, but everything else is inside of the museum.
The city of Bisbee and the Bisbee Queen Mine Tour was a ton of fun and well worth the drive from Tucson. It allows visitors to experience a town founded on mining, but now focused on being an artist's scene in tourism. The museum gives visitors a wealth of knowledge and discovery on Bisbee, the mines, and the people of Arizona. It's definitely worth the time spent exploring the museum, and highly recommend you pair this with a tour going inside the Queen Mine. Look, if you like this content, you will want to check out all our other videos covering Tucson and its surrounding attractions. That includes the Saguaro National Park and trails, Tombstone with its Boot Hill Cemetery in the old historic town, San Xavier Del Bach Mission Church, and our favorite B&B in the whole world, which is the Hacienda Linda Bed and Breakfast adjacent to the Saguaro National Park. Also, check out all our other videos covering the many fun and historical attractions we have on our Travel with D&E channel. Do us a favor and subscribe. That way you get to know when we put a new video out. Like that video, share it with your family and friends. They will enjoy it as well. Remember to put a comment below if you visit the Bisbee Mining and Historical Museum. Give us your thoughts on that trip. Thanks for watching, and as always, we will see you in the next video.